Welcome back. If you follow this show, the Wednesday Extravaganza here on SportsLine, then you know we're all about professional wrestling here. And Impact Wrestling, based right out of here in Nashville, Tennessee, has got their big pay-per-view event coming up this Sunday night. It's called Slammiversary, as Impact Wrestling celebrates 15 years. Yeah, hard to believe they've been around for 15 years. Jeff Jarrett from Hendersonville, a guy we've had on this show a couple of times, is back in control of Impact Wrestling. And the main event will be Bobby Lashley versus Alberto El Patron for the Unified World Heavyweight Championship. But one of the bigger matches on the card as well will be a grudge match, a strap match between EC3, Ethan Carter III, and Leapers Forks, Tennessee's own Cowboy James Storm. So he is one of the TNA/Impact originals at the company. Earlier this week, I had a chance to sit down the Cowboy James Storm. Here's that interview for you right now. Enjoy. Folks, sorry about your damn luck, because I have the thrill of interviewing one of the best pro wrestlers in the business right now, the Cowboy James Storm. James, great to have you here in studio.
You're just saying that because I'm here, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it.
Man, it's great to be here, man. You know, especially being a native of Tennessee also.
I was just going to say that you're a nationally known guy, but you are a Leapers Fork, Tennessee guy. You're a Middle Tennessee guy, and you let that be known every time you're in the ring and cutting promos.
Born and raised, you know, I'm very proud of where I came from. You know, I am from Leapers Fork, and I was born there before it became cool. You know, now it's like the trendy place that everybody wants to go, and it's one of those places where if you wasn't really born there, or if you don't have a lot of money, you're not living there now. You know, it's expensive. So.
James, Slammiversary is coming up on July 2nd, and it's a milestone night for Impact Wrestling and for you. It's 15 years this company's been around, and you are one of the originals of this company. What does this mean for you personally, that Slammiversary 15 is coming up?
Well, it means a lot to me, first of all, just to show how much the company believes in me to keep me around for 15 years. You know, you don't see too many guys staying at the same place for 15 years. And so, you know, Jeff Jarrett is back with the company now, and things are starting to look up and everything. And, you know, at the very beginning when we had Impact Wrestling here at the fairgrounds every Wednesday night, people said, oh, that won't last long. That'll last a year, or that'll last 2 years, or 10 years. And now here it is 15 years later, and people are still saying that. It's like, stop saying it. 15 years, we're still here, you know.
One of the great things about you being at Impact all those years is that the James Storm character has taken a lot of different paths. You know, you were a tag team wrestler with America's Most Wanted with Chris Harris, and then with Bobby Roode for Beer Money. You were a solo guy. You've been a good guy. You've been a bad guy. But when you come through that curtain, the crowd goes crazy. They love James Storm no matter what kind of character you're playing. Describe that connection that you have with the wrestling fans, because it's so important in this business, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, the connection with the fans is, to me, one of the most important things to being a long-term professional wrestler, and being able to talk on the microphone, you know, and of course being able to wrestle. But to me, connecting and being able to talk are my top two. But I think it's just because people know that I'm real. I don't go out there and I don't try to play someone I'm not. And that's a good thing about Impact Wrestling, is they just let me be me.
Yeah.
And people who know me know that I'm that guy they see on TV. I go out and I have fun no matter what. You know, if someone's in a bad mood, I'll try to cheer them up, you know, and I drink beer, a lot of it, you know, and so you know, it's just one of those things that people know when I come through that curtain that they're going to have a good time, because I'm out there to have a good time. You know, I get to run around in my underwear for a living and drink beer.
That's pretty good.
I don't know if they let you wear underwear here and drink beer. So
probably not a good idea for what I do, but for what you do, it's outstanding. You mentioned Jeff Jarrett being back, another fellow Middle Tennessean. What has it meant to have him back in control of the company and kind of taking Impact Wrestling in a different direction?
You know, I just think it's leadership. You know, he's been around the business for 100 years. You know, don't tell him I said that. But no, it's you know, his dad did it. You know, his grandmother, his whole family's been in the wrestling business, and so he knows wrestling. And you also have a guy by the name Dutch Mantell who's there too. And these guys know wrestling. They know you know, what's going to sell tickets and what's not. And, you know, and they believe in the guys that they hire to go out to the ring enough to say, hey, you can try this or you can try that. They let guys try different things, you know, but they still have a vision, and you still have to stick to what they want. But you're able to go out there and kind of just do what you like to.
Not too long ago, you kind of left the tag team ranks and went solo, and you became a world champion at Impact Wrestling. Describe that period, because it was a lot of fun for me as a fan to see you as a champion. The fans were certainly into it. What was it like for you?
You know, it was very emotional to me. If you go back and watch that match, you kind of see that, you know, Bobby Roode and AJ and Frankie Kazarian, all these guys come into the ring, and all I did was held the belt and I kind of looked up or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just because my dad, he died when I was 12 years old, and I just remember watching wrestling with him when I was very young, and it was one of those moments where I said, hey, this is for you, Dad. You know, and no matter what people want to say about pro wrestling, when you're in that moment, and that's what you've known kind of growing up, and someone like that was taken away from you very young, and you dedicate that moment to them, like the feeling is so overwhelming that, you know, I actually started crying. You know, I'm a tough guy,
right? And,
you know, for me to kind of break down, you know, it was pretty emotional for me.
You were a terrific athlete all your life. What got you into professional wrestling? What was the draw?
Man, it was one of those things. I used to go to the fairgrounds and watch, you know, all these guys come through. You know, they had Steve Austin and The Undertaker, and, you know, Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantell. All these guys came through, and I remember sitting there with my dad and my grandfather watching these guys, and seeing my dad and my grandfather just going crazy. You know, like here I am, like a little, you know, 6-year-old kid, and I just like, man, like I was looking at these guys like they're larger than life, and now I'm that guy.
Yeah.
And it's really cool for me to look out into the crowd and seeing these young kids or whatever, and they're having fun, and they're you know, enjoying themselves, and they're with their family, or, you know, their dad or grandfather or something like that. And now I'm creating memories for these guys.
Amazing. So Slammiversary coming up July 2nd. You're taking on Ethan Carter III, EC3. And listen, say what you want about the guy. The guy's a 2-time heavyweight champion at Impact Wrestling. It's going to be a strap match. You're going to have your hands full against EC3.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, and you know, I put it up on my Instagram where I was whipped with a leather strap 31 times. I mean, it's not a nice sight, and we have a thing that we call a receipt in wrestling. And so on that receipt, it's going to say 32 for him. I'm telling you, it's not going to be one of these big high-flying wrestling matches. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight.
We're looking forward to it. You got a lot of years in this business. How much longer does the Cowboy James Storm have in this business, and how long can Cowboy James Storm stay on top?
You know, it's just one of those things that I've heard that a lot of times. You know, I've been in it for 20 years, and it's just one of those things where I don't want to overstay my welcome, and it's one of those things where I don't know how long I'm going to stay in it. Just when my body says, hey, that's enough, that's enough.
Well, hopefully that's not anytime soon.
Oh, no.
Storm.
No.
Great to have you here. He's a creek swimming, moonshine sipping, Johnny Cash listening, great professional wrestler. James
SOB
Storm
from Middle Tennessee.
That's right. Thank you so much for being here, James.
Hey, thank you very much, man.
Oh, don't forget Slammiversary, July 2nd on pay-per-view. Our thanks to the Cowboy James Storm. Great getting a chance to visit with him this week. And just like we said, Slammiversary comes your way this Sunday on pay-per-view. Should be an outstanding, outstanding event. All right, we come back. We're going to hear from another Nashville sports legend, Brandt Snedeker, getting ready for his big Web.com golf tournament right here in Music City. That's next. Stay with us. SportsLine returns right after this.